Night one of the NFL draft. Winners, losers, let's dive in. Round one, day one of the NFL draft in Pittsburgh did not disappoint. We had 8 trades go down. We had 8 teams that did not make a selection in the first round. We saw a quarterback come off of the board at a spot where he probably should not have. I'll get into that. We saw history at the running back position. Jeremiah Love going number 3 to the Cardinals. I did not have that in my cards. And Jadarian Price, very fitting pick. I had that in my mock, going 32 overall to the Seattle Seahawks. First time since 1949 that one school had 2 running backs from their school be the first 2 to come off of the board. 1949, we saw Doak Walker and Paul Page come off of the board from SMU. Love, Price, I'm really stoked for what they're going to do in the NFL. But let's get into the winners and the losers. Give me your winners and your losers in the comment section below. I urge you to. The New York Jets, Gang Green, knocking this one into the second deck in right field with their selections. I thought they were going to go Arvell Reese. Tons of Jets fans thought that they were going to go Arvell Reese at number 2. Of course, in Jet fashion, they don't go with the shoe-in pick that a lot of the fans want, but they go with David Bailey. He's still going to be a productive force for that Jets defense, for Brian Duker, and for Aaron Glenn. This is a guy who is one-dimensional in the sense that he is a C quarterback, hunt quarterback, bring him down sort of player. A one-dimensional guy. He's not too savvy in the run game, in stopping the run, but he will go after the quarterback and be productive in doing so. 19.5 sacks at Texas Tech last year. He played 3 years at Stanford. Through the entirety of his 4-year career in college, 29 sacks. So he will bring production value for the Jets here. When you look at how their defense is constructed, you have Joseph Asai. Now you put David Bailey in there. Will McDonald IV, you have versatility. Kingsley Enagbare, the former Packer that they went out and got. So a lot of depth here at the edge rusher position for the Jets. I would have liked to see them go Arvell Reese here for the reasons that I stated in Mock 2.0. Demario Davis is 37 years old. He's only got so much more left in the tank. I know that they have Kiko Marinoa, who went in the 5th round last year, brother of Cici Marinoa, now the stalwart. I don't know if he's going to be a tackle, whether he's going to be a guard, but he's going to be a stud for the New York Giants. So maybe they're relying on Kiko to take a big step next season, but as it's presently constituted, it's Demario Davis at one of the starting linebacker spots, and it's Jamien Sherwood as the other guy. Arvell Reese is a do-it-all player. He's awesome in the run as well, in the run stuffing facet of the game as well. He brings more versatility for the Jets, so I thought that was the better pick, and him being kind of a protege, let me learn under one of the best veteran linebackers in the league in Demario Davis. But I like what I see with the Jets in terms of beefing up their front. They already got Onyemata, traded for T'Vondre Sweat. You got Harrison Phillips in there. This is going to be a nice, formidable unit. At number 16, this is where it was a kind of a shock for a lot of people, and I saw some harsh grades for this pick. I don't know why. Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon. Yes, the Jets could have went wide receiver here and taken their guy for the future. Makai Lemon was there at this pick. They could have rocked with him, but they go with Kenyon Sadiq, who is 6'3", 241 pounds, and is an outstanding receiving tight end that brings nothing but speed and juice for the New York Jets. Him and Mason Taylor are going to be a force. 51 receptions last year for Oregon was a school record. Now this is why the Jets are a winner, because Muji trades back into the first round and makes a 3rd selection in the first round for the New York Jets, trading with the San Francisco 49ers. He gets the 30th pick in the draft, gives the 49ers a 5th and the 33rd overall pick in the 2nd round in order to get Omar Cooper Jr. out of Indiana, who played primarily in the slot at Indiana, but he can also play outside as well. 13 touchdowns. His acceleration is off the charts. He's 6 foot, but he plays bigger than that. He sheds tacklers like it's nobody's business. I think that this was a phenomenal pick for the New York Jets, and a primary reason why they are a winner, because now you have Adonai Mitchell and Garrett Wilson, Kenyon Sadiq, and Omar Cooper Jr., And no excuses for Geno Smith. You're putting him in the best position to win. This was a grand slam by Muji. Joe Shane with the New York Giants. They are another one of my winners. I thought that this draft was great for them for the value of their picks. Arvell Reese falling to them at 5 was an absolute steal. And if this is the thing with Arvell Reese and the versatility that he brings, the flexibility that he brings to your defense, if in fact they want to make him an edge rusher, you got Abdul Carter and Brian Burns, and then you throw Reese into the mix, look out. But if you want to play him at the linebacker spot, which is probably what they're going to do, you went out and you got Tremaine Edmonds, one of the best run-stuffing linebackers in football. Arvell Reese, one of the best run-stuffing linebackers in college football. This is a dynamic duo for a Giants defense that is definitely revamped. Then at pick 10, they say, look, we need to shore up the offensive line. Sure, we have Daniel Failele, the former Raven, that's a John Harbaugh guy, at the right guard spot. We have Jermaine Illuminor, who we brought back, and then obviously Andrew Thomas on the left side, but we want to make sure that this offensive line is a wall in front of the future at the quarterback position, Jackson Dart. And they went out and they got CeCe Mauigoa, the big man Samoan. You cannot go wrong with a Samoan, whether it's at the offensive line or on the offensive line or on the defensive line. In the trenches, the Samoans are beasts. 6'5", 329 pounds. CeCe has a guard's frame, but he moves like a tackle. And he's going to bring that flexibility, because if they want to bring Jermaine Illuminor inside at right guard, they could. If they want to, and then have CeCe be a tried and true right tackle, which is what he was for 3 years at Miami. Or the most probable reason is Failele gets knocked out of the rotation, the starter, at the starter spot, that is, at the right guard spot, and you bring CeCe in at guard. This offensive line is going to look real good for the Giants up front, blocking for Tyrone Tracy and for Cam Scatterbo, and obviously Jackson Dart. Absolutely love these picks at 5 and 10 for the New York Giants. You couldn't have asked for better. Giants fans, Jets fans, give me your thoughts. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that both of these teams did a great job in day one. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, also winners in my book. My third winner from day one is the Dallas Cowboys for what they were able to do with their 2 picks in this draft. First off, they traded up with the Dolphins to take the Dolphins' 11th overall pick, giving them the 12th and then 2 fifth-rounders. I guess maybe their thought process was, look, Jeff Hafley's the head coach in Miami. It's obviously a defensive-minded guy. Their secondary is young and unproven. Perhaps they're going to get our guy. The Cowboys had him in their top 5 on the draft board, and that's Caleb Downs, the safety out of Ohio State. Played at Bama, played his last 2 at Ohio State. Jim Thorpe Award winner for the best DB in the country. The Cowboys said, we're going to move up 1 spot to make sure we get our guy and make sure that the Dolphins don't. This is a disruptor near the line of scrimmage, a tackling magnet. Caleb Downs is going to bring new DC Christian Parker nothing but joy. You have untapped potential with Caleb Downs. You can do a lot of things with him, but he is the nickelback that the Cowboys needed. They have Deron Bland. They went out and they got Kobe Durant at the 2 main cornerback positions, and then at the nickelback, I mean, Caleb Downs. He can also be brought down in the box as a safety, but this guy has instinctual coverage skills. He is a fantastic player and arguably the best player in the entire draft. The fact that he was able to fall to 11, I thought he was going inside the top 10 for sure. Did not see him escaping the top 10, so that's even better for the Cowboys. They're definitely a winner, but then the fun did not stop there. They ended up trading with their arch rival, the Philadelphia Eagles. They give Philly their 20th overall pick. They move back to 23. They get 2 fourth-round picks in the process. The Eagles end up getting their guy, Mekhi Lemon. I know the Steelers probably wanted him. A lot of Steelers fans wanted them to go out and get him there. They did not. And then the Cowboys at pick 23, the Eagles pick, they end up getting their guy, Malachi Lawrence, the edge rusher out of UCF. 20 sacks in his collegiate career, 6'4", 253 pounds. This is a guy who is explosive off the line of scrimmage, and it pops out to you when you watch the tape. 11 sacks in 2025, also had 11 tackles for a loss. So now you have a nice arsenal of edge rushers on the Dallas front with Rashawn Gary, who they traded for, Donovan Ezeraku, and James Houston. I like what I'm seeing from the Cowboys here. They are really, and also, by the way, they gave the Eagles a 7th-round pick for 2027 in the process of that trade back. But I really like what I'm seeing from Dallas with shoring up this defense and making sure, okay, Christian Parker, you have all you need to contend with the NFC East teams. The Cowboys, they might be the favorite to win the division. We shall see about that. We got to get to the losers, though. There's a few losers that I want to touch on here, but perhaps the biggest loser is Sean McVay because of the way he looked after the Ty Simpson pick. It did not seem that him and Les Snead were on the same page about getting Ty Simpson out of Alabama at 13 overall. They get him there at that spot. I thought in both of my mocks, 1.0 and 2.0, no quarterbacks were coming off of the board in the first round. That was just my inclination. You're most likely going to get one, and that one ends up being Ty Simpson. But at 13th overall, that is a reach. Look, the guy has great traits. He's a little undersized for the position, but the traits are undeniable. The back half of his season last year, he did not look great by any stretch. I think that this was, in fact, a big reach for the Rams here. And Sean McVay, him and the Rams are losers in this spot just because it seemed like he did not want to go here with this pick. I thought they could have went with Monroe Freeling or Max Ihanachor, who the Steelers took with their pick at 21. There were options here. You take a look at who was left on this big board by the Rams pick. There was a number of different ways that they could have approached this. I thought that the quarterback was a reach. Minnesota, they are one of my losers for sure. They end up taking Caleb Banks, the defensive lineman out of Florida. The signs are all there for you as to why this guy's a day 2. Because of the injury concerns. He just came off of an injury. He broke the 4th metatarsal on his left foot at the combine. He played only 3 games at Florida this past season because of that same left foot. All of the red flags were there. I guess the Vikings were willing to overlook that and add another piece for Brian Flores' defense because the guy's talent as a run stuffer is undeniable, and he's enough of a disruptive force in the pass rushing facet of the game. But he's definitely a day 2 guy. Because of the injury concerns, I just did not see it being a valid pick at that point in time. At number 18, it's a reach. And my final loser here is the Kansas City Chiefs, only because Brett Veach, why give up draft capital, I should say, for a guy that was going to be there at 9. He trades up from 9 to 6 in an effort to jump the Commanders and the Saints, who end up taking Sonny Styles, who I had in my mock 2.0 and mock 1.0, I believe. My pick was correct. Nonetheless, with my latest mock, I had Sonny Styles going to the Commanders. The Commanders end up getting Styles, and then the Saints end up getting Jordan Tyson. They clearly weren't thinking secondary. I don't really understand the choice to give up a 3rd-round pick, a 5th-round pick, and your 9th overall selection just to move up 3 spots and get Mansour Delane out of LSU, best cornerback in the draft. Some argue it's Jermod McCoy. You can definitely make that argument. Let's just say in the hypothetical that the Saints or the Commies ended up taking Mansour Delane. Jermod McCoy is a valid option. Colton Hood, Brandon Cisse. There's a number of really good options at defensive back to fill the void for Jalen Watson and Trent McDuffie. I don't have a problem with the selection at all. In fact, I got that pick right as well. I had them getting Mansour Delane, but there's no need to give up draft capital, Veach, in the process to get a guy that was going to be there at 9. So that's why Kansas City is a loser for me. Give me your winners and losers in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned.